Welcome to today's session, children. In today's session, we will deal with the chapter Force and Pressure. And I hope you all are fit and fine, isn't it? In today's session, we will try to understand what is force in the introduction part, effects of force, what are the different types of forces, and what is the relation between force and pressure. Okay? Now, what is force, children? Force is a push or a pull or both. Force is something which we cannot see, but we can feel and observe the effects of the force. So let us take up the push. It is a force by which we try to move an object away from our body. Okay? What is pull then? It is a force we apply to move an object towards our body. And there are instances where push and pull both are used. Suppose a person is playing a guitar, sawing the wood, scrubbing the floor, forward, backward, दोनों direction में move करते हैं. So push and pull both are there. Rowing a boat. These are some examples where push and pull both are involved. Now here you can see so many pictures, children. Tug of war is there. Okay, here also push and pull, isn't it? Then they are trying to raise a flag. Now he is trying to pull a box. Okay, he is trying to open a door. Okay, he is drawing back a bow. All these are cases where push or pull or sometimes both are involved. Okay, so here this child is trying to move a table. Okay, so what are the effects of forces? Force changes the shape of a body temporarily. Force can change the shape of the body permanently. Okay, now force can change the direction of the moving object. Force can change the speed of the moving object. Force can stop the moving object also, or it can make a stationary object move also. All these are various effects of force. Okay, now suppose not one force but two people are trying to move a car or move a table, say for example, then both of them are applying the force, isn't it? So what is the net force applied? The net force applied is the sum total of the forces. Two forces are applied, so the total of both these forces is the net force applied on the body. Suppose two people are trying to move the table, then the net force applied is the force applied by both of these people. Okay, and when two forces act in opposite direction on the same body, then the net force applied is the difference between the two forces. Okay, now what are the different types of forces? Contact force. Muscular force is the force exerted by the muscles of our body. So it is a contact force because we are touching the object, isn't it? See, here you can see a cart is being pulled. Not only human beings, even animals use the muscular force. So here the person is trying to ride a bicycle. So he is pedaling, isn't it? So his body is in coming contact with the bicycle. So muscular force is a contact force. Now next is the force of friction. Again, when two surfaces come in contact with each other, then it is frictional force. So this is also a contact force. Here you can see a ball is there. So if you can just imagine that this ball is rolling, then if the ball is rolling from left to right, then friction develops from the right to left direction, opposite to the direction of movement. So after some time automatically the ball will slow down and then come to rest. This is a general observation, isn't it? So here also you are able to see a person is riding a bicycle. So if it stops the pedaling, then automatically the bicycle will stop and it will come to rest. Why? Because friction here is developing between this tire and the road, and here in the first picture the friction is developing between the ball and this particular floor here. Okay, so friction develops between two surfaces which are in contact with each other. So friction is a contact force. Now let us move on to non-contact forces, and before that here you can see that a person is trying to skating. So here the friction is developing between the wheels here and the road here, and he is trying to move from right to left. So friction is developing in the uh, opposite direction. So he is trying to move from left to right. then friction is developing from right to left in the opposite direction. Remember, friction goes opposite to the direction of motion. Now, friction has got some advantages, disadvantages, and there are methods by which we can reduce friction. So, let us understand these. So, friction is dependent on the physical condition of the surface. Rough surfaces offer more friction. Smooth surfaces offer less friction. This is one point. And second point is weight of the object. More is the weight, more is the friction that can be offered. Okay. Now, next is what are the advantages of friction? See children, we are able to walk on the road, run on the floor without falling or slipping. It's because of friction. We are able to write on the paper, write with a chalk on the board or with a marker on the whiteboard. Okay, all these are because of friction. Musical instruments are being played and they produce sound, isn't it? Pleasant sound. All this is because of friction. Okay, then vehicles are able to travel on the road without falling down, also is because of friction. And friction has got some disadvantages also. So friction develops between two surfaces which are in contact, isn't it? So friction can heat up the machines, friction can give repair to the machine, the wear and tear of the machines. All this is because of friction. It can cause what is called sound pollution, and naturally when there is a repair to the machine, that is going to cost some expenditure, isn't it? So these are some of the disadvantages of friction, isn't it? And now we can also reduce the friction. Children, you must be knowing that ball bearings are used in machines. Okay, then air cushions are used, roller bearings are used. All these are used to reduce the friction. It's a common observation that whenever something is not working, we try to put some coconut oil or sometimes grease is applied. Now these are called lubricants. They are used to reduce friction. Okay. Now, the most common examples which we encounter in life where friction is being applied. The most common one is here he is trying to light a matchstick using this friction is being used here. So, the moment you try to light a matchstick, it's the friction which gives the fire here. Okay, and this person is holding a glass of water because of friction, and here see she is trying to clean the surface of a glass or a mirror, in fact, and that is happening also because of friction. Now, non-contact forces. Now let us see, non-contact forces means two objects or two surfaces need not come in contact with each other. So if uh, unlike poles are attracting, okay, and like poles are repelling, in case of two magnets, these two magnets need not be coming in contact with each other. We don't really place this particular magnet on this particular magnet. The close proximity is enough for them to get attracted, and similarly the close proximity is enough for them to repel here. Similarly, this particular magnet is attracting the nails. The close proximity of this particular magnet is enough for the pin to really go and stick to this particular magnet. We need not place the magnet over the nail. The magnet did not touch the nail for it to attract. The close proximity is enough. Okay. Now next, moving on to electrostatic force. So electrostatic force is a force exerted by a charged body on another charged or uncharged body. So a plastic straw charged by rubbing with paper attracts a suspended plastic straw. So here they are in close proximity, and that is enough for them to get attracted. Here the close proximity is enough for them to get repelled or move away. A plastic straw charged by rubbing with paper repels a suspended plastic straw which is charged by rubbing with paper. So both of them have been charged by rubbing with paper, but they will repel. Okay. But the one which is charged by rubbing with paper, okay, attracts another plastic straw. So these are temporary charges, and the force that is coming up because of these charges is called electrostatic force. Okay. Now, gravitational force. Now, here you are able to see that the person is throwing something, probably a ball, and that is raising high there, and it falls down. Okay, and here you are able to see in the second picture that the leaves are falling down and water flows down. Okay, and the parachute, this person is taking the help of the parachute to come down. So all these are because of gravitational force by which earth is pulling an object towards itself. Okay. Now next, coming to what is pressure. Pressure is force per unit area. Okay. And the unit of pressure is Newton per meter square. Here you can see the example how force and pressure are related. So this person is applying a force on the piston to pump air into the tire. Okay. So air pressure has got a lot of strength. So this is a small experiment which was done by a German scientist. He took two hemispheres like this, and he took out all the air in from them, and those have got attached like this, and he has attached these two horses on both the sides, and these horses, the strength of the horses was not really enough to make these hemispheres move apart. So that is the strength of air pressure. Okay. Now little bit of homework you can take. Give two examples where force changes the shape and direction of motion of an object, children. Do these in your homework copies. What are contact forces? Name them. What are non-contact forces? Name them and write the unit of force and pressure. You can take this as homework. Okay. And let us meet in a very interesting session next class. Until then, bye bye. Okay.